What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. And a lot of you guys have been asking questions based on the video that I previously put out about these new abilities that EA Sports is going to be hitting us with coming in Madden 21 Ultimate Team. Now, a lot of the stuff that's in the game is already there. The max security, the double me, all that stuff is already there. The only new addition was the Yak 'em Up or whatever it is that, Yak 'em Up, the one that George Kittle has. So you guys are asking, you know what, Gmia, what's going to be happening? Because in the closed beta, we weren't able to really maneuver our receivers around. Is EA going to take away the user ability? Let me go ahead and explain something to you guys about that. As far as the Gmia streak goes, will it continue to go on? I don't think they have an option other than to let it continue. Now listen, this could be the one thing that happens, right? Because it's going to be a similar year like Madden 25 where it went from PS3 to PS4 or Xbox One. You know, like how it was two of the games on the two different systems and we're going to have the PS5 coming in the fall? That could change for the new system. But for our current gens right now, it's going to be the same exact thing. Let me give you guys an example. Madden 25, when I played it on PS4, that was the one with Adrian Peterson on the cover, I believe. Let me know if I'm right about that. I'm trying to go based on my memory. Because the original one didn't have... The original Madden 25 for the regular consoles didn't have AP, but the next gen at that time did. The next gen, you couldn't pass the ball and do the same things that you could do in the previous one. So it may have to evolve into something different for the newer gen systems. But as far as what's going to be happening, if you look at the fact that double me, like look at the players that get it. You know, Devontae Adams, what is he, like 6'2"? DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's like 6'1". Julio Jones, 6'3". George Kittle is 6'4". A lot of these players, right, what's going to happen is if you go up for the ball, now Michael Thomas, I don't know, that's going to be something that's different because some of you guys are asking, does the Superstar X Factor have anything to do with the ability to make them jump in the game? If you play Madden 20, you understand that usually certain players won't react or do anything without an ability. So I wouldn't recommend that you come out and try to moss with Michael Thomas. Can you do it? Yes. Dudes have mossed me with Michael Thomas that I played against. Like, dudes go crazy. Like, but is it something that I would recommend you try to do often? Probably not. Because EA, this is the thing, right? The EA can't just take away the fact that height matters, which is one of the reasons why Gentry became such a popular card, because he was 6'8", and everybody already just, knew about, the streak. So it's like, all right, he's that tall. What do we have to do to moss dudes? And then you realize that in certain aspects, you will get a predetermined pick, but most of the time when you're able to jump, you're going to get it. Now, some of you guys still have not mastered the Gmia streak in 20, but you've been practicing it, throwing picks and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. During the closed beta, I was mossing dudes, but the way that I unlocked my receiver to move, I don't think it's going to be that difficult when the game is released, because they can't impede the movement of the cards. Similar to when you play a guy that you play a guy that runs, like one of those spread offenses, and then they get a streak that's open and then they like zip it in and out, like they move the guy in and out because he's wide open. Those type of movements can't be restricted, because if they do that, everybody needs to be able to move their receivers. The issue is upon the, where the ball is thrown and the point, the high point of the ball, who can get there first. So a guy like Mike Evans, right? At launch, they usually jip him on his speed. Like, his speed is usually trash. So he's going to be a slower, big body receiver. If you played the beta and you use the Bucks, that's who I was mossing dudes with. Now remember, the streak specialist, I haven't heard anything about it. I think that it's out of the game, and they're going to make it so that you use the other ability that, it caters to more, just outside the numbers. It's going to be sort of there, but it's not going to be there. The bigger thing about it that I'm trying to make you guys understand is this. Because these abilities are in the game and because players have superstar X factors, mossing is it's a part of the game. It's just a lot easier than it was before. You see what I'm saying? Because in Madden 15, when you guys are calling it the face catch, I was mossing dudes uncontrollably. It didn't really matter. The skill level of both sides were kind of equal because you could pick the ball off with no problem. So it wasn't that big of a deal. If you had a good defensive stick, like, you were going to pick that ball if the guy didn't know what he was doing. In Madden 20, what happens is when you have abilities, it's so much more overpowered if you just understand how to throw the streak. So because EA has added these animations, that is kind of the reason that a lot of these guys that don't know how to do it and are scared to do it because they can't consistently get it, they understand that the predetermined animations are going to impact them catching the streak. So they're scared to do it. They're going to go with what works. And that's not a problem. The issue is you guys are going to have to lab it if you guys want to do it. But For no reason based on playing the beta do I think that it's going to be completely out of the game. Now, for those of you guys that are saying, like, you know what if we go out and, you know, we're going to start off with the 6'5" guys. Obviously, Zach Gentry is going to be like a bum card maybe. He probably will have a silver. I don't see him having even a gold card maybe, but, you know, he's going to be, obviously he's 6'8". You could probably try to put working with him. Depending on the attributes and the way the cards play in Ultimate Team, it may be harder to moss with a guy like that because he won't have the attributes. Remember, they're focusing more on so many different versions of archetypes that every little thing is going to count. So you have to make sure that you understand that. If Gentry doesn't have certain things, you know, as far as abilities or attributes go, they may make it impossible for him to go up and get the ball. That may be the counter to dudes just trying to come out and moss dudes uncontrollably. But the reason that I stopped right here on the screen is, don't forget, Travis Kelce's 6'5". He's going to have decent run block. He's a tight end. You can always, if there's a possibility with building your team where we're going to go out and do that, he would be somebody that we would go after. So when you guys say, bro, are they gonna stop the streak? I don't think they can, because if they do, it creates something else that's going to be worse. Like, bro, put it like this, right? No matter what Madden does, because I've played Madden so long, there's always going to be something that I can do. Every year we get the same guys. Yo, Gmia, you're not going to be good the next year. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And we do the same thing every year because we find out what works and we go from there. The only thing that I can suggest to you guys to understand, Keenan Allen is 6'2". So if you're trying to get him to jump high when already defensively the players jump like they're jumping through the stadium, it's going to be harder to moss with a guy like that. You know, Michael Thomas is 6'3". Beginning of Madden 20, if I would have known about the streak, I would have probably tried it out then because he was an outrageous force at the launch of Madden 20. But as everything got tuned, he became more and more trash, and everybody's like, yo, the guy sucks. We're never going to deal with it. You know, I would love to go out there with Julio Jones and see what's good, but we need the height factor. Okay, George Kittle being 6'4", is that a possibility? He's a great run blocker. You know, obviously to yak him up, maybe we, you know, start trying to do a couple different schemes and stuff like that with him. It's a possibility. I'm just letting you guys know. Don't just go and say, you know what, it's over. It's not going to be able to happen. It may be different with the way, because like I said, I played the beta and I did it in the beta. Bruh, dudes got mossed. EA Sports, when they were monitoring it, they saw that score. It was wild. Now remember, it was very, very easy to just throw the ball in general. So probably we won't even need to moss dudes. If we can get open on the right type of routes and dudes can't come out and just sit in cover 3 stock all game, that's why I created the streak, because everybody was just coming out running stock cover 3. Now they can't do that. They got to double up both sides. They got to do different things. So if we can get open the same way against certain coverages, we won't need the streak anyway. But if they continue to make it so that people can come out and run cover 4 drop and leave their controller on the ground, run around their living room with their G-string on and their name on the orange juice, we're not having that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep your minds open with it. We're looking for, I'm going to go minimum 6'5", but you probably won't have that many to start other than Mike Evans and maybe Travis Kelce. But we're going to start around that route and see where it takes us. And then from there, we'll start to develop our whole new means of what we're going to do in Madden 21. Give me your suggestions of the players that you think we should use. Leave all that feedback, and we'll talk about it in the comment section. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. You go ahead and have an unbelievable day. Until next time, one love, y'all.